Alright, it's the morning. I think it's the 20th of August. Might be the 21st. no, I'm happy with that. Bit of discomfort in quite a lot of my joints. That will go though. I'm pretty confident of that now. And the ideas I had there is I'll just make a series on everything I'm trying to improve on. And then even if nobody watches it, it gives me an opportunity to track myself. I didn't know how to be accountable before, accountable to myself. And it felt like I'd been lost in other people's ideas as to what life was about, without being able to cultivate what I believed life was about. And I've wasted a lot of years to come to that point. They weren't so much wasted as it feels like they were lost, because I didn't have the tools at my disposal to live, to cultivate the existence I believed in. So there's going to be a lot of call outs on these videos, just trying to make sense of it all and progress forwards. Keep moving forwards. Don't be afraid to say what you believe, because that's your path. And yeah, listen to yourself more than anyone else. Like 50% of the person you should be listening to is yourself, maybe, and then 50% is everybody else on planet Earth. And it might even be less than that. I'm rambling. Alright, so I'm going to try and kind of kick this whole process into gear of kind of personal accountability. And so I'm just going to kind of document everything that's changing, how I feel in myself. And like the idea is just to be calm and relaxed with, I figure 80% relaxed and 20% anxious. And then that way the anxiety is just a tool to motivate me to do things, which is my understanding as to what anxiety is meant to do. However, anxiety has the potential for a lot of us just to take control, and then we're 80% anxious and 20% relaxed, and then life is miserable because we are not meant to be anxious all the time. It's a motivational tool. And so I'm just going to start. Obviously I need to manage my own kind of perception of what's going on internally, so just the conversation between mind and body, and numb myself to kind of stimulus that is not necessary to focus on really, and just condition myself to bring a greater level of consciousness to what I do need to understand within the communicative structure. And so the best thing I've found to do is just to shut my eyes and do things in a safe space. Must be in a safe space if you want to shut your eyes and do things, and obviously do it safely. So I'm going to shut my eyes and do yoga. If I feel like I need to say anything, I will, but I'm just basically just trying to feel comfortable in myself again. Because I think when you experience things which are overwhelming to you, over the years, you eventually feel really uncomfortable in yourself. And whenever you feel signals from your body, you feel afraid, because your body is effectively this communication structure which is just letting you know all these bad things have happened, and so we begin to fear ourselves. I'm wishing whoever is watching this strength, focus, resilience, peace of mind, the good things, the things that we want, the things that give us the opportunity to love being alive and be grateful for being alive. I'm wishing you these things. And I'm wishing you these things because I'm wishing myself these things, because I know they're the good things. be speaking less in the future, but that's just the overall gist if you want to understand what my motivations are. Currently, I have no idea who I'm going to become, but I hope it's something good. At the very least, 80% good. I'm going to add dynamic movements in. Just to kind of bring a bit of 21st century anxiety into the yoga. As far as I can tell, the goal within exercise is to chase discomfort. And once we meet discomfort, move away. Your ability to exercise is judged by your ability to embrace discomfort, move away, and then be able to return as quickly as possible. I figure that's why yoga, or stretching, whatever you want to call it, is such an effective exercise, because the whole thing is about speed of embracing discomfort. And you just kind of chasing down that part of ourselves which hasn't learnt to numb pain. And by pain, I just mean discomfort. Like a seed. You know, all that pressure. And if you keep going at the seed, eventually it bursts open into life. So hit the discomfort, keep going. Don't push too far, because it will affect your ability to return towards personal battle. You want just the right amount of discomfort, and that's mastery. And in doing that, we're going to limit the chance that we're going to injure ourselves, which is failure. From my perspective anyway, I spent years injuring myself, and I didn't know how to take responsibility for it. I didn't know how to be good to myself. Damn. I apologise about that. And it might sound bad, but I can assure you that it's getting better. So much better. There we go. Felt discomfort in my elbow, right elbow. So move away. If I press into that for too long, I'm going to increase my chance of injury, or increase, at the very least, my inability to return to this exercise as quickly as possible. Conditioning ourselves for discomfort. Christ, it's tough being human. But that's what makes it worth it. Too far there. Got quite a lot of problems with my hands. Mic setup's a bit naff. And this really is, at the end of the day, signaling to the body, you need to be able to do this. You know? And if that part of you isn't up to it, then we need to basically work to create it into something that can. Now, if you are planning on exercising like this, remember the reason I've got my eyes shut is so it's harder to ignore the signals that are going on in my body. You know, where I've got pressure, where I've got weakness, where I've got the potential for injury. And by having my eyes shut, particularly for me, anybody who's injured at home, who's watching this or listening to this or whatever, really bad,
left leg tendons. I think you got two tendons, PCL and ACL. I'm not sure what side they're on, but one of mine is terrible. The one on the left side here, on my left leg, furthest left side, that tendon for a decade, over a decade, has been popping and cracking. And then I've got muscle weakness here, so that's more cracking, whatever this muscle is. And that's from not eating enough protein growing up and having, you know, just general health problems. I don't know, I don't actually know. I couldn't say exactly the problem, but it's just impoverished environment. Surrounded by people who don't know how to look after themselves and just picking up bad habit after bad habit. And then the other pressure I've got is in this left shoulder. I had a bicycle crash, completely my fault. It was wet and there was no traction. I ended up hitting into a lamppost. And then, so it's my left side really that is the biggest problem, but I've got, oh, and then my right hand. All the muscle mass. And that was when I got really ill, when I was about 27, in the middle of COVID. And that's really the primary motivation as to the person I am now, who's been forced to find all these answers from other people who exist, who want to help people. And I owe those people a lot. Like literally my whole life right now. So definitely a little bit, well, a lot indebted to the truth and don't even know, it's kind of beyond words. It's the truth and goodness in other people. I do apologise about those noises. They will stop one day quite soon. So a little bit of discomfort, not good discomfort, I want to be clear, beyond the comfortable discomfort threshold in my left shoulder. So this is going to be the last one, and it extends down my neck, actually, thinking about it. So really, then, rather than applying pressure, I need to be stimulating blood flow and carefully kind of working with range of motion. And down my neck, shoulder, you know, you want things which are pressing. And so after this I'll do press ups or whatever. Half ups is what I call them, obviously. It's like half the body weight on your knees, you know, or legs, just resting on your legs. And then, so I'm going to do that next. Anyway, hopefully that horrible noise, grating noise, is proof that I'm not bullshitting. Hopefully I've said something helpful in that video. I'll get better at these. it's really nice to do it with your eyes closed if you're in a safe space. 80% peace, 20% anxious. Here we go. Wishing you strength. Alright, so I'm going to be doing half ups. I stand by these blocks, whether they're wooden or whatever. Wooden would probably actually be better, are the best calisthenics tool. Especially if you can stand on them as well. Do your leg raises and all that stuff. But, you know, I don't have wooden ones. And these cost me a £5, so, but look. And I can do my half ups, which means basically it's a very controlled weight on old injuries. I've got a lot of grating in my right elbow. It's hot related, and then my right hand are bad, but I'm absolutely 99.999%. Got to allow a little bit of variability, just in case there's a bit of my character which doesn't want me to heal. But yeah, I'm 99.999% sure that I can heal and become the person that I want to be, always wanted to be. And to do that, I've got to utilize exercises which are not geared towards muscle decay or controlled muscle damage. You know, I'm going for blood flow, range of motion, and then once I've healed the injuries, then I can begin kind of muscle breakage. I don't actually know what the term is for the breakdown of muscle to form new, stronger muscle. I bet there's a Greek word or something. I bet there's a lot of words, and not just a Greek one, but you know, they're normally like Latin or ancient Greek or whatever. Anyway, look, half up, go down, make sure it feels good, make sure you feel good. And I'm gonna, of course, close my eyes because I need to heal my mind-body connection, because I ended up being quite a damaged and troubled little lad because of the BS, generational BS. I'm curious as to whether that's not very well placed. I wonder if completely lost my train of thought to that. That's annoying. I'm actually, relatively speaking, blessed for space in this room, but still, for whatever reason, seem to struggle. I figure the early videos are the ones you look back with most joy, because they're humble, not perfect, and the further you go on, everything's kind of like pristine and well managed, and kind of becomes, it loses a lot of elements of life. Still got a little bit of eczema, but at some point I'll show a bit of information about that, but about how bad it got. which is why I might occasionally itch, but it's just because I ate things like, well, I don't want to, yeah, I just ate things like bread and stuff yesterday, which is no good for my skin, really. Yeah, it's quite annoying. I had a really good point to make, or I was like, that's going to be a really nice thing to say, and then I hit my elbow into that. I normally stand by the mantra. If I forgot it that easily, it can't have been that important. But it's always annoying, isn't it, when you forget something that you kind of really felt comfortable with. You're like, yeah, man, I'm going to say that. And then you don't. So really, what I want to kind of convey to anybody who watches this content, whoever ever does, even if it's just me, is exercise should predominantly be relaxing. Relaxing first, consistent second, and then focused on improvement third. And this is the law of improvement. You must be relaxed if you want to improve. You'll improve quicker because you'll be conscious of the things, the variables which you are under. You'll be conscious of the variables under which you are being conditioned to respond to effectively in the moment. I do worry that if I speak like that, I hope it's helpful for people and I'm not just, fart smelling or whatever. If you want to improve at something, you want to find it relaxing. I believe, I could be wrong, but this is what I kind of have been figuring out myself. It's got to be relaxing first, and then you got to do it consistently, and then you got to focus on the improvement. And when you're relaxed, the reason you want to be relaxed is because you become more highly conscious of the variables under which you are trying to improve. It's like the system. It's like all these different variables. These variables are just things. And if you improve in all those different things, it's impossible not to improve at the task. And so I've got like muscle weakness, joint pain, all these things. And like my diet growing up was just dreadful. And all these things which add up to the inability to do the things that we feel like we should be able to do, just because we've been denied the necessary variables to succeed in a task. And so it's good to be relaxed because you can identify faster what variables you are lacking in and which you must gain access to succeed and move and progress forward as quickly as possible. Relaxation is heaven, like literally, as far as I can tell. If you are relaxed, then you start to more easily identify the good things in life, which you've cultivated, create more good things. Feels nice. Also, I want to toughen up the wrists. wonder what the perfect speed is. You know, they always kind of focus on explosive, but it's like explosive isn't really a speed. It's an idea. Like, am I better off doing that for recovery? Is controlled the best way to stimulate recovery? Slow speed. Fast speed. Well, just like I've stated, and whether it's right or wrong, I don't know, but I like the sound of it. Relaxed, consistent, improve. I wonder what the 3 laws around recovery would be. I kind of went with blood flow, range of motion, and then weight increase. So if I'm focused on blood flow, how does that change my exercise? Because focus on blood flow. I think I don't want to sever blood flow, and so I don't want to be applying too much pressure into spaces to restrict blood flow. So if you think about it, I'm not searching for, I'm searching for the pinch. I can feel pinch. Both my thumbs, just underused really. Thumbs. I've done some handiwork in my time, but handiwork. Damn. I'm definitely going to try and not speak too knowledgeably about myself, I suppose, because it's very hard to know what we are, and it's almost distasteful to talk about yourself as if you kind of got it all together. I don't know, or just kind of some certain vein of language where it's like the person's taking this concept as if they have an absolute. I don't know, can't even word that. But yeah, I mean, back to the blood flow, because that was a complete tangent. But if I'm searching for the pinch rather than anything else in the range of motion, then because I just want to be conscious as to what it is that's going to provide the greatest stimulation for productive healing. So if I go like that, go like that. I mean, if I am I'm just chasing something that feels good. Because feel good. Alright, I think I should have cut it before I trailed off. I do regret that a bit, that little bit of conversation, but I suppose that's all a part of learning, is making those mistakes and kind of actually embracing them rather than rejecting them. Because if I reject them, I don't learn the lesson and I'm more likely to repeat them again, because I'm just a repeating pattern, either spiraling up or down. So yeah, I wish I hadn't, I suppose, hyper-focused on myself or given too much of a strong opinion about what I was or what was going on. I just kind of like floundered when I was talking about maybe too subjectively about what I was experiencing. Actually, don't know why I made that what I considered an error. And so I might look back on the video and just reflect on it. But I'm searching for consistency. And to reach consistency, I need to find the process relaxing. So even movements like that are beneficial. Because I can feel a little bit of a pinch in my left shoulder, grating in my right elbow. Like burning in my forearms, which is nice. Bit of popping and cracking, various places. I want, control on the way down, and some level of full body explosiveness on the way up. So it's like I don't want to just apply loads of pressure and push up. I actually want to utilise the whole system. Oh, that feels good. That's the best so far in terms of technique for me. And you can really see where that goes, because that's like the whole system working as one. And that's what I'll be building up to in the long term. Alright, I hope there is some value in this video. I hope I can reflect on how I'm going to evolve the way I speak on camera in the future, using what I've recorded today. And I hope I can focus predominantly on saying valuable things, rather than, I think, hyper-focusing on minute detail, which might indicate too much of a level of self-obsession, because I'm not the only thing that exists in the universe. And if I'm speaking, especially on camera and posting things online, the information's really for other people, including my future self, admittedly, within those people. But yeah, it's just, I suppose this is the beginning of the evolution as to how I try and transmit value to other people, especially because recently I've struggled with speaking with people. I find it really hard emotionally, and I think it's because I maybe a lack of self-worth in a sense. I used to be really conversational and all that, but once you get really ill, you start to lose faith that the things that you were saying were valuable or true, because force is more powerful than the things you think. Kind of showed that you didn't really have that good a grip of reality or how you should be responding to stimulation within the environment. And so it's like you almost lose the right to speak. And it's like, you don't deserve to say how you feel and stuff like that. Which is nonsense, because the world needs as many opinions as possible, and then coming to the wisest decision, which lies somewhere in between the middle of all those decisions that independent people make, is how you get the best outcome. was successful, and I hope it didn't become boring. And yeah, long may this continue. This is good. I'm wishing you well, wishing you strength. I hope there is some value in this video, and I hope in the future I can improve on everything I've done today and become a better person. And I wish the same for you, whoever's watching.
Hello, mate. You are quite a beautiful little thing. This like that. Go around. Just get some good footage of you. To remember you're real. Can't touch you. Look how peacefully you. How close can I get? Gimbal limit reached. I don't think you feel fear yet. That's probably enough.
Alright, it's the morning. I think it's the 20th of August. Might be the 21st. actually. I'm happy with that. Bit of discomfort in quite a lot of my joints. That will go though. I'm pretty confident of that now. And the ideas I had there is I'll just make a series on everything I'm trying to improve on. And then even if nobody watches it, it gives me an opportunity to track myself. I didn't know how to be accountable before, accountable to myself. And it felt like I'd been lost in other people's ideas as to what life was about, without being able to cultivate what I believed life was about. And I've wasted a lot of years to come to that point. They weren't so much wasted as it feels like they were lost, because I didn't have the tools at my disposal to live, to cultivate the existence I believed in. So there's going to be a lot of call outs on these videos, just trying to make sense of it all and progress forwards. Keep moving forwards. Don't be afraid to say what you believe, because that's your path. And yeah, listen to yourself more than anyone else. Like 50% of the person you should be listening to is yourself, maybe, and then 50% is everybody else on planet Earth. And it might even be less than that. I'm rambling.